Terrell Thomas, These Urban Times. And you know, we love to bring you the most talented people in the world. And it's dope to have an opportunity to sit down with this young lady, a songstress who's doing a lot of great things in music. She has some things that she'll be looking forward to dropping as the summer moves along and as 2021
Yes.
moves along. Miss Nyaira Collins, how are you today?
I am well. Thank you for having me. Super excited to be here speaking with you today.
Thank you very much for your time. I know you got a lot going on, and I know as a creative, you know, time is precious because you could always be doing,
Yeah.
you could be doing
Yeah.
something in your mode to perfect your craft or something of that nature. So we greatly, greatly appreciate you sitting down and speaking with us today. I want to let our audience know a little bit more about you and your sound. Now, I've had the opportunity to hear some of your music. I think you have a
Oh,
beautiful voice.
great.
I think you're
Thank
an
you.
amazing talent. And I was just introduced to you not too long ago, maybe about a month, 2 months ago. I was
Okay.
introduced to your sound. So it's been a great journey learning about you. I want our audience to learn a little bit more about you as well. If I'm not mistaken, you have some roots in Detroit and some roots in Los Angeles. You were
Absolutely.
born in Ohio and you're in Orlando right now. So yeah, you're
You can say
definitely well
I'm a
traveled.
bit of I'm a bit of a gypsy. We kind of floated around quite a bit. I'm definitely from Mayfield Heights, Cleveland area, of course. The land, stand up. But my developmental years, as far as my theater experience and the start of my television, because I was also in the acting field as well. I was in D-Town, Detroit, and I was in Los Angeles for 5 years, working with NBC, Nickelodeon, Disney, as a kid growing up, and I made my way to Orlando with getting my bachelor's in audio production. So I do a little bit of production as well and sound design. So that's where all over I've been, but I'm home base right now is in Orlando.
Okay, okay. Well, talk to me about your journey, as you mentioned, as an entertainer, because you have an acting background, as well as your musical background. But what was it like as you said as a child? You were working with Disney and working with different big companies. Talk to us about your introduction into entertainment as far as acting and music is concerned.
For sure. So I've been in the industry for 17 years now. I know I'm young, but I've seen everyone come and go and lots of experience. My first audition was at the age of 6. I actually went to New York to audition for the play Annie, beat out 600 girls, but when it came down to the final cut, I wasn't able to make it because didn't have formal dance background, of course, or training specifically. But that was the beginning. I was Eveline in The Wiz, from performing live at the Carolines on Broadway to going over to LA and doing Disney and Nickelodeon and having those opportunities. I'm well versed as far as the training, but now that I am an adult and evolving overall, it definitely makes a difference in becoming who I am, from being formally trained and you have to stand this way and speak this way, as far as memorizing scripts from television to theater, to making sure you have your smile and you're able to articulate properly. It's more so about the evolution in who I am as an artist now and where do I go from here. But I was raised old school. Some of my biggest inspirations were Prince, Tina Marie, Earth, Wind and Fire. I'm well versed as far as my music background, but I am trained classically as far as opera, from jazz to some of everything, and that's really my roots. But I'm a neo soul artist and R&B at heart.
I think it's quite dope, as you just mentioned, even as far as being a neo soul artist, because for me, when you hear neo soul, it is a collective of other arts and talents
Yeah,
coming together on a record or on a track. 2020 was a difficult year for a lot of people, as we know. The
yes,
the world changed right before our eyes, and it was definitely difficult in the entertainment world with sets shutting down and shows not being able to take place as much. But it did give people an opportunity to, I guess, have one-on-one time, possibly be in the studios, do a little writing, X,
for
Y, Z.
sure.
How did the pandemic influence or impact your creative process?
Oh gosh. I would say that I have been more in my songwriters and production bag than I've ever been before. um, I'm savvy in Logic and Pro Tools, so I was able to spend more time in my studio at home and really dedicate my time towards my creativity. Of course, it definitely got to me. I actually moved from Ohio to Orlando a week before COVID hit. And it was a major blow. I had some major opportunities as far as the production side of things. But with everything shutting down, I kind of just had to be like, okay, so what can we do to, of course, growing our numbers. Numbers is very important. Still keeping my supporters engaged. I don't like to call them my fans because they're more family than anything. People have literally watched me grow up to where I am now. So my supporters, and just really taking the time to rebrand myself and how can I be the best version of Nyaira that I can be. So it was positive, but it was rough because I was staying with family. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a person that my social battery goes down after a while. I'm like, okay, I need to be a recluse. I need to refocus myself. But it was great to really reset and just kind of put things into perspective as to what's important. Of course, everybody reevaluating your circles, seeing who needs to be on your team and who doesn't, and really just wanting to be the best version of me for myself and for my supporters. So pandemic was a little bit half and half for me.
Okay, I respect that. That was some great insight as well. Now I know that summer is right around the corner. Some will say summer is here, and you're preparing for something very, very dope right around the corner.
Yeah.
Next week, in the beginning of June, you'll be releasing a new project, Hot Air Balloon. Talk to me
Yeah.
about this project. Why the title Hot Air Balloon? Give me a little
Okay.
insight as far as how many tracks on the project. Are there any specific records that stand out or stick out to you?
Absolutely. So just for clarification, Hot Air Balloon is a re-release. It will be dropping on the 4th of June. So it's coming. And then we have my next single, Thinking, which is self-produced by myself as well as Mr. Bass Heavy. Love you, Bass. July 23rd, actually, to be exact. But Hot Air Balloon, just a funny story overall. I was in my home studio in Ohio and I was going through a bit of a depression. I'm not going to lie. I was kind of down as far as opportunities not coming, processing the passing of my mother, and really wanting to dedicate that time. And I said, you know what? There's a greeting card right on the right side next to my pen holder. And I said, if I could go anywhere in this balloon, where could I go? As far as my journey, where I wanted to be personally within myself, and overall just wanting to take my listeners on a journey. And that's the focus of Hot Air Balloon, really just rising to the occasion and creating a whole picture of where I want to go next and where I am now. So that's Hot Air Balloon.
Are there any tracks on the project that stick out to you, that have a special meaning to you, that you want the audience to really listen to with a different ear and try to hear what you're conveying?
Of course. Hot Air Balloon specifically is one that I want you to really picture yourself and let it take you on a journey. Even putting yourself in your shoes, if you were in that balloon, thinking about where it is that you want to rise to the occasion, whether it's your personal life, your family, your career, where do you want to go and how far is it going to take you? Of course, me being a music nerd and being a theater major, of course, I have some little droplets of some of my classics, from The Sound of Music to The Wizard of Oz, and hopefully you'll be able to catch it when you take a listen. But as far as the next one, Thinking, oh boy, that's something that you're definitely not going to be ready for. It's a heavy hitter, and it's really bringing out the new side of me that a lot of my listeners haven't really heard yet. So I'm excited for it.
Now, did you create or compose this track during the pandemic? Was this something you were already working on? Is it new as far as you just wrote it a few weeks ago? Like, how did the creative process behind that come about?
So one of the main instruments that I'm using on Hot Air Balloon is actually just my synthesizer or my MIDI. Okay. And me being able to compose and contrast and just music head speak software wise, adding from compressors to EQs to Space Designer to adding a little bit more of an ambiance behind it to really take you on that journey, in addition to my voice and my arrangements. Because my process, I usually start with a melody, and as I'm humming and I'm coming up with the lyrics, it just flows. And really and truly, the musicality came afterwards, just being able to put in that synthesizer, and really the simplicity of the track is really what makes it stand out for me. Of course, I've had everyone really listen to it and, oh, you need to have this and have this. But I'm just like, I really want the listener to be able to picture in their mind where they're going and how the changes in crescendo of the music and where you are on your journey in that air balloon, taking off and taking flight and then coming back down. So synthesizers, to answer your question, and a lot of EQing and technicality, but I wanted to make it as simplistic as possible to enjoy the journey.
Okay, okay. Now I also understand you're doing something special with your visuals that you'll be releasing for some of your music. Could you give our audience a little more insight of what you're cooking up in that?
Oh, I can't give too much away, but I will be working with Mr. Tim Irby of Carolina Blue Films. He will be working with me to ultimately cultivate the vision of both Thinking and Hot Air Balloon overall to bring it to life, because we can listen to a track day in and day out, but a lot of the most important details that we may have missed or to be able to bring out the story even more are in our visuals. And you could tell from a lot of our music heads, they're coming out with the special effects and the sets and all these duplications and Adobe. Like, it's so many different effects that we never even realized that we had. And even some of our artists are peeling back the layers and making them simplistic like the 90s. So I'm super excited to see what Mr. Tim has in store for me and how we're able to really reel in the supporters even more from just listening.
So we see that this will be a big couple months for you, I guess we could say. June will be starting off really dope. Then you'll have something coming for us in July. So it'll be a very dope and impactful summer for yourself. As we move into the later months of 2021, what else do you have in store? What else will you be working on?
Well, the release of my EP, of course, and just a shout out to my team. I have just signed with Sony Orchard in association with Sony Music and Royal Court family. Love you guys so much. It's going to be a fantastic journey. I've got a couple of live performances coming up. We're still etching in the details, but mostly the EP. And I'm working on a docuseries, a mini docuseries for the supporters to get to know me a lot more. Because as stated previously, a lot of people know the child star or the girl who went viral or the girl with the big voice, but no one knows who I am now and the pitfalls and everything that I've gone through to get to where I am in the whole 17 years I've been in this industry. So look out for that, of course.
Okay. Do you have a date, release date yet for the EP? Or are you still working on that?
We're still working on that, but I know that it should be sometime in the fall of this year. Okay. So be on the lookout, and I'll definitely drop some gems here and there to keep everyone in the loop.
We will be looking out for that. Please let our audience know how they can check you out via social media. Also, how they can hear some of your music via streaming platforms and things of that nature.
Absolutely. And shout out to you for having me today. I really appreciate the love and the support. But you could always check me out at my official website, NyairaCollins.com. That's N as in Nancy, YAIRA Collins with 2 L's. And same for all of my social media platforms from Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all available at Nyaira Collins. And shout out to you. I'll be sure to make sure that we drop a little gem, of course, for you guys.
Thank you very much. As the world continues to open up, hopefully the next time we speak, it'll be like in a studio. Maybe I'll be able to catch you in a session or something like that.
Yes.
The Atlanta area, we get you actually in studio and sit down and chat with you, because we're locked in now. You're gonna be staying in tune with your journey.
Oh yeah, we outside.
Thank you very much for your time today. Be blessed out here.
Of course. Thank you so much.